CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Goenche Tarvotti. गोंयचे तारवोटी आमचे खास कार्यावळींत आयज मेरेन आमी साबार आमच्या तारवोटी भावांक तुमचे मुखार हाडल्यात आनी तांची तुमकां लागशिल्ल्यान वळख करून दिल्या. आपल्या कुटुंबाक गांव गोरा सोडून ते वेद बोर पोटाक लागून तारवार एकसुरे कशे जियेतात आनी कशें जिवीत सादतात तें आमी तुमचे नदरेक हाडलां. गोंयचे आर्थीक उदरगतीन आमच्या तारवोटी भावांचो जायतो वांटो आसा आनी हें आमच्यान कशेंच विसरोंक जायना. We bring to you today yet another young seafarer, Loyson Pereira from Vasco da Gama, who is employed on the Carnival Cruise Lines and holds the prestigious position of an excursion cruise manager. It's a high-profile job, and very few Goans who have served the Carnival Cruise Line have reached this position. Welcome to the studios, Loyson.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for having me here.
Warm welcome to you. And I think to begin with, I always would like to know a bit about my guest, beginning with his, childhood, academic background, and the manner in which he has grown up in Goa. Could you give us a brief about your own self?
Certainly.
As a youngster, as a student, and then looking for a maybe job opening, all that perhaps. Tell us briefly about it.
Sure, sir. So I born and brought up in Vadem, Vasco. Studied in RMS. Then I did my commerce in Divvihar, my bachelor's in computer applications in MES, and then finally I did my master's in Panjim. So, shipping was never my thing. I was actually working, so if I start with my professional career, I would say with working, I started as an IFSC for insurance company, financial service consultant, started over there, then went through LIC. I was an agent over there as well. And then my first job, I would say, would be, I was a sales advisor, an executive for Maruti Sai Service in Chikalam.
Okay.
So I did like an year and a half over there. Then moved on to Kingfisher Airlines as security officer as well as customer service. Done with Kingfisher and then was with Indigo for 6 months. Once done. Since I already had security background, that would actually made me apply through ships. Now going through ships, there's a small little story over there.
It's quite impressive actually at a very young age after you passed out your academic field, you took up a job, you said, as a LIC agent. You went into marketing executive with Sai Service.
Yes.
Then you joined the airlines.
Yes.
Kingfisher Airline. Then you went on to
Indigo. Yes.
Quite a kind of from one end to the other end, different job profiles. How did this happen, and thereafter what happened? How did you come to square down on a high seas career?
Okay, so my friends and my cousins, most of them, they are shippies.
Your friends and your cousins?
Cousins, yes.
Okay.
Most of them are shippies. So I had told my mom, ships? No, that's not my cup of tea. I would never do ships. Why? Because I would miss the weddings, birthdays, parties, picnics,
So
gatherings.
you are a party man?
Yes.
You're a party man?
Yeah. So I said, if I go on the ship, I will have no family time. I would miss all of this. So I said, no, ships is nothing. It's not for me. I would never do it. But then, and that is the only reason I kept on studying. I tried my work. I tried different places working. And then towards that, I was actually doing a lot of interviews for government job.
Okay, you were answering interviews for government
jobs. Yeah. So it's the same. You apply, there's no reply. So I kept on doing that for a while. And then one fine day, this triggered me because I saw my friends when I was in school. They were the last benches. Some of them were dropouts. I saw them being on ships. They have cars, they have bikes. And as a youth, I think we all love to have a bike. or a
Correct.
car.
Correct.
Roam around with friends. I wouldn't say show off, but yes, that's the inner devil. Show off, yes, it is. So what happened over there is when I saw them and I'm like, what am I doing differently than them? Where am I and where are they? So that triggered me, and that what actually told me, go tell my mom. Let's do it. Let's go on the ships now.
So you changed your mind only when you saw the backbenchers who had joined the shipping lines doing well in their career. Am I
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Is it that?
That was the thing.
And before that, your mindset was not to go on the ship only because you had something, a different idea of life. You would
Exactly.
miss the parties, you would miss the wedding, go on weddings and things
Exactly.
like that. Sarke?
Sarke.
Yes, Sarke?
Sarke.
So only when you saw the backbenchers, as you said,
As I said.
and you had, your this thing academic career was good. You had done your this thing in
Studies,
getting
yeah.
degrees and master's degrees and all.
Because again, like study side, I was good.
You're good.
Work wise, I'm like, I was trying,
But
I was not getting it.
yes,
So
and even
like-
government interviews you gave. You
I
said.
gave, and then I was always used to clear the written, because first it's usually written and then it's orals.
Okay.
But then I don't know what's going on there, but then writtens are done, but orals were never given a call to.
Mhm.
So that what triggered me, and that's what I actually went. That's what I went, gave my interview. So at that point of time, I was already frustrated. I was 24 years,
Okay.
and I said, I went with my mom to this agent. I said, just offer me anything. I'm ready to do anything, whatever you say.
You went to a shipping company agent.
To an agent, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, are you sure you can do anything? I said, yes, because I do everything back home. So he's like, do you wash utensils? I said, yes.
Mhm.
Do you know what is the job of a galley steward? I said, yes, I do.
Mhm.
Will you be able to wash those big containers,
Mhm.
plates, forks, pieces? I said, yes. I said, do you want, I'm like, I can, it's not that I want to try. I know I can do it and I will do it. So then it happened that he asked me about my qualifications. When
Mm.
I told him about my qualification, he's like, you're overqualified for this job.
Okay.
And since I already was holding a screener's certification, that
Mhm.
was an all India certification, he's like, hold on for a while, there would be vacancies for security officers soon.
So this was your earlier job at Kingfisher Airlines, or maybe even Indigo.
Indigo,
Airlines?
yeah, so it was
Okay.
together.
Okay.
So I did that, I had the certification with me, and then I did that, waited for 2 months, and then in due course, he's like, you prepare yourself for going, because you have to do all those courses, you need to do your medicals, you need to process your visa stuff. So I did that, got a call, waited for like a year, that's when I moved on to the ships.
Okay. So finally, you made it to the ship. Only
Yes.
when certain thing triggered in your mind
Exactly.
on seeing the reality.
Yes.
Okay. What was your first posting on the ship, and which was the ship? Was it a cruise liner?
Yeah, it was
You
a cruise
began with
liner.
a cruise liner.
I began with a cruise liner. Since I was already a security officer on the airport,
Okay.
I was hired as a security officer. That's the initial position on a Carnival cruise line.
Okay.
Like the designation keeps on increasing, and it is different
Mhm.
depending upon different companies. But in Carnival, it's security officer. So I started as a security officer. I did it for like 2 years, 3 contracts, and then I moved on to this beautiful department, which is my favorite department, and lot many people aspire to be coming into this department. That is the shore
Yeah,
excursions
we will
department.
talk about this department of yours. Now, what is this department of yours? Excursion.
Excursions. So I am basically leading the excursions department.
Okay.
So every ship, whenever it gets to port, so because again, it's all about cruising.
Yeah, we will talk about your department
Mhm.
as the interview goes on.
Mhm.
But Loyson, tell me something.
Mhm.
You changed your mindset. You changed the career options.
Mhm.
You didn't want to live in Goa anymore, and you wanted to, you didn't succeed in a government job, as you said. You
Correct.
were getting through to the written test, but then when it came to the orals, you were not going through.
Going through.
Whatever reasons.
Yes,
Yeah, and you two don't know it.
I took because
You
I
had a good academic record and good
Yeah.
qualifications also. Nevertheless, leaving your comfort of your home,
Mhm.
of your parents,
Mhm.
your maybe sibling and things like that,
Mhm.
how did you feel at that moment? that you are going to leave this comfort. You are turning your back on the parties, you are turning your back on the wedding receptions, and you are heading on the high seas, which was never your first choice.
Yeah, it was tough initially, but then after looking into all of this, whatever I went through, I had already made up my mind. Well, there was another story which I will tell you right now. What it was, the thing
Yeah,
what I
please
went.
come out. Please tell.
Once I went on board, I don't smoke.
Okay.
Till day I don't smoke. Went on board, my first cruise. I had an assistant from Kortalim. So for the very first time I was scheduled, that was my first duty. I was scheduled in the nightclub. In the nightclub, everyone smokes. I don't smoke. I couldn't breathe because the smoke of cigarette was literally making me giddy. So I was coming out, taking a deep breath,
Yeah.
going in,
Going back inside.
going back, monitoring, coming out again. I did it for a while. So finally the assistant chief comes in and he's like, how's everything going? I said, Chief, I don't smoke. I can't work over here.
And you're exposed to smoke.
And I'm exposed to smoke. He's like, but then did you try? I said, yes, I've been doing this. I'm going out, getting in, going out, getting in. He's like, but then you signed up for this. I said, I do know that. Is there any other place you want me to work? He's like, yes, there is. But then let me ask you one question. I said, go ahead, Chief. Did you unpack your bags? I said, I've unpacked one bag since today is my first day. I was like, leave the other bag unpacked. I said, why, Chief? Am I changing cabin? He's like, no, you're going home the next port. I said, why? It's because you've signed up for this, you can't do this. This is the part of the job.
Yeah.
So you have to go. That strove my heart. Like, with all that might, what I came over here.
It was quite a shocker for you.
It was.
It was, huh?
Yeah, because now it was like, what would I tell my parents?
Yeah.
What would I tell my friends? Because again, this, nobody would listen to this story of mine. So I said, Chief, you know what? I'll manage.
Okay.
So I'll manage, and I did manage. I did manage, and that's how I tried. And I stuck till day. It's been 11 long years. But I got rid of that position, but in a different position.
Okay.
But yes,
Yeah.
if I had to let go that day, I don't think so I would have done that.
And perhaps you have not been where you are now.
Exactly.
This position on the cruise ship.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't do that.
आता तुवें म्हणलां you're 11 years. आता तुका 11 वर्सां जालीं तारवार सर्वीस कोत्ताय.
सारकें.
11 years जालीं.
Oy.
So, with the exception of that particular experience of that nightclub, where you had to, be part. It's part of your duty.
Correct.
Inside the club, and where everything goes on, smoking and drinking.
Exactly.
You have overcome that little bit of fear or whatever you had.
Yes, that is true. I'm like, that's one part of the duty of a security officer, but there are many other aspects of a security officer. So again, you are at sea, it's a high risk job. And again, when I knew myself, and since I had studied a lot, I knew to channel in what was best fit for me. So that's what actually happened to me, and that's what I did.
So this is your experience, Loyson, as far as your ship is concerned, your posting and your job profile is concerned.
Correct.
तुका दिसता असलेच जायते कितें अनुभव आमच्या दुसऱ्या एअर भुरग्यांक मेवता आसतले न्ही क्रूज लायनीचेर
जायते
न्ही
जायते because again जायते जाण सुरवातीक yeah, the perception what they have
in mind before going
because again it was the same thing. Gadio, bike, everything is so flashy, everything is so nice, but once you come on board, that's when you see the utter reality. This is not about cars, this is not about bikes. You have to work 10 hours a day.
10 hours, huh?
10 hours a day. Again, depending upon the type of work what you do, you can be extended. There are certain days of a cruise wherein you will have to do extra hours.
Continuous duty.
Yeah, as per the MLC regulation, everyone needs to be working 10 hours or less, but you can't extend. But then the way how the schedule has been designed is that if you are working for 14 hours on one day, you can be reduced to say 8 or 9 on the rest of the days. But as per the MLC, you have to have 10 or less than. So again, the position matters. So once you get there, that's when you see the reality, and that's when you know where you have landed. Now, it's a matter of choice. You have to do it, or you can choose not to do it. If you do it, you survive. If you choose not to, you pack your bags, you come home again.
आता आम्ही विल कम बॅक टू युअर करंट पोझिशन. आता तुझें डिपार्टमेंट खंयचें आनी ह्या डिपार्टमेंटान तुजी जबाबदारी कितें आनी तुजो पोस्ट कितें सद्याक?
म्हजो पोस्ट शोर एक्सकर्जन्स मॅनेजर म्हूण आहा.
येस.
I lead the team. From amongst the fleet, our team size can be from 6 to 3, or sometimes during the manning can be 2.
Okay.
I've even run a ship just by myself due to manning. But then again, it's a very small team. We are known as the smallest team, the orange team on board, the shore excursions. But then again, though the size of the team is small, but you cater to all those many guests. The last ship which I was on had a capacity of 37 to 38, 3,800 guests. Work is the same.
I see.
Work is the same. Everything is the same, but it's all on your mind.
म्हाका एक सांग लॉयसन, ह्या एज अ एक्सकर्शन मॅनेजर तुझी ड्युटी जबाबदारी कितें? What are your responsibilities as a manager and how you lead your team?
Okay. So the department itself is known for creating memories. When the ship gets in port, we are the one responsible for sending guests safe and secure to different places, to different excursions. So we have many age groups, from the young to the old, and it's mixed. We have families, we have newly wed, there are so many requests. Some have food requests, some have allergies. There are so many things. So when guest comes to us to book a tour, this is the way how we channel. What do you need? Some of them want ATVs, some of them want jeeps, some of them want jet skis, zip lining. There are so many options. So when they come, we ask them, we seek their needs, and as per them, as per the budget again, we send them accordingly. Now, we do have many competitors outside who do offer different tours, but then the way how I promote and the way how we do deal business, again, it's safety, security, insurance, and everything has been taken care of.
When you're talking about shore excursions for your guest, are these shore excursions booked online by the guest at the time of booking the cruise, or do they do the booking once they are on board the ship?
You can do it pre-cruise.
Either way.
Yeah, you can do it pre-cruise, you can do it on board, you can do it on the hub app, you can do it outside once we are in port. So there are different options available for guests. But then again, the good excursions, they usually sell out.
Okay.
So if you are planning for that, you better book it ahead of time, because once you get on board, you might not get it.
Okay. Now you spoke about planning. Tell us something so our viewers also know that, cruise line has lot of job options,
Correct.
Those who are not inclined to go to the other section or the other division department, they can always look at something like this where you are coming directly in contact with the guest.
Correct.
With the cruise guest, okay? How do you plan the excursion trips?
So
do you have tie-up with the land cruise agents? I mean land excursion agents who are doing the tourist trips?
So basically my job is like, I'm the middleman, we have office, and we have tour operators on the land.
Sure.
So I'm the middleman. Office has already planned the program for me.
Okay.
Because again, there is a lot of it involved in it. There is insurance and there is costing, pricing, transportation, everything. So I'm just the middleman. So it's already been pre-organized. Now, the demand arises on the guest on board. So I basically coordinate with the tour operator, getting the guest feedback. So guests come, they book, then I just have to coordinate with the transportation, the buses, the excursion. So I'm the one who decides whether this tour will happen or no. Then again, special request, send them request, make everything so that they get comfortable. If there is a delay on the tour, again, we are obliged because they have booked through us. So I have to inform the office, inform the captain, inform all the required people, necessary people to wait for our guests.
So there is a lot of coordination part,
Yes.
from your side.
Sarke.
With your management, with your shore agents,
Yes.
shore side, and then again the topmost priority is your guest on board.
Correct.
At the end of the day, you have to please him.
Correct.
आता लक्झरी क्रूज लायनराचे उलयता तेन्ना क्रूज लायनराचे तेन्ना ते जे गेस्ट असतात तांचे कडेन आवडी ओ दियर प्रेफरन्सीस एंड डिमांड्स वेगवेगळी आसूंक शकतात
सारकें.
सो ह्यो तुमी कश्यो छाती पावयतात हाऊ डू यू फुलफिल देयर नीड्स एंड हाऊ डू यू मीट देयर डिमांड्स
So I'm like, again, it's all about guest satisfaction.
एक्झॅक्टली
That is the only reason we are over here.
राईट
But guest can have different requests. We try as much as possible to give the guest what the guest wants.
ओके
There are certain things we really can't make it happen for them. So that's when we actually contact the guest and tell them, sir, we do have options. However, the thing what you have requested cannot be done at the moment. We have tried our best, we have not. Because what happens is, it's always better to keep the guest informed. Nobody likes surprises. If the surprises is a negative surprise, positive, we would
Yes.
all love it. So we don't want to have any surprises for the guest which can negatively impact them, their vacation, and then in turn it will come to us.
your company
Because then I'm answerable. So why did, and then I have to be answering to my hotel director or maybe the office.
correct
Why was this not dealt the way how it was supposed to be? So again, we try our best. As I said, for example, I've just signed off from a cruise ship, and then there was a couple. The boy wanted to propose the girl
okay while on tour
while on a tour, but then it was a surprise for the girl.
okay
So the boy comes to me and is like, this is a surprise, nobody knows about it, it's me and you now. Nobody. And the boy was traveling with the parents, and the girl's parents were there as well,
I
and the
see.
girl.
okay
So I said, sure. So I sat with him, I said, so how do you want to do it? He's like, okay, so I've got a ring, you do it, you make it happen. I said, okay, fine. So then I contacted the tour operator. I said, dolphins would be the best thing.
okay
So coordinated with the tour operator, with this guy. I said, I arranged a photographer as well from the tour company. So the way how it was done, wherein they were all doing the dolphin program in the water, boy, girl, the parents and all. The dolphin actually comes with a ring
uh-huh
to the girl. So basically the boy will ride with the dolphin. The dolphin has the ring. They came. The boy took the ring and then proposed.
Wow.
This was in the water.
fantastic
They loved it. The boy actually loved it, and he even tipped me. I said,
I see
I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm like, it was an yes for sure.
yes
So they loved it. They enjoyed the experience. They took the pictures, and then till the cruise ended, he always came at the desk. It's like, you really made this day special. You really made it happen.
so Loyson, these are some of the challenges that you face, am I right, as part
Yes.
of your duty
Yes,
and you have to stand up to it and
to it, yeah. To
get it going.
Get it going.
Anytime have you come across any guest on board who's little bit different, and has got different choices and different wishes, and anytime such a situation has arisen where you had to
There
really,
are there are
go
lot.
that extra mile to please that guest, because you
Yes.
cannot let yourself down,
Exactly.
neither can you let your company down.
Exactly.
Finally it counts at the end of the day.
That
you
is
know,
so correct,
and
yeah.
what feedback they give. Am I
Yes.
right?
Correct.
It's a very dicey situation where you are between the devil and the deep sea.
That is so true. That is so
Very
true.
true. Am I right?
So let me actually give an example.
How have you faced? Have you faced a situation like this? And
Very
how
much.
best did you tackle it?
So often, I'm like, we do get this a lot.
I see.
We have so many special needs who actually come on a cruise line. Now, they want to do it. We do have many people who suffer from cancer
Okay.
survivors.
Okay.
They actually come. And then we do have special needs. They can't walk. They are confined to the chair.
Okay, but yet they are on a cruise.
And yet they are on a cruise. Now again, when this personally when I see guests with disabilities, my heart cries, because by the grace of God, I'm still intact. I've got everything on me. But then when I see them, I would try my 110% to help them out. So when they come, I give them special attention. I narrow down, I tell them everything. So there was this guest who was a baby. She was 6 to 7 years old. She wanted to do the dolphins again.
Oh, I see.
They just love to do the dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, she was confined. Now she wants to do the dolphins. The parents were insisting that she wants to do the swim, but then she can't do the swim because she's confined. She can't swim. Again, it's a risk factor. So again, I had to contact the tour operator. I checked with the tour operator. I called, and that's how I made this experience a memorable one.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents actually came to me thanking, because again, the way how she was handled at the location was really nice, and she actually got to touch the dolphin, kiss the dolphin, belly touch, everything, shake hand. So that was one of it. Now, this was a positive surprise. There was an old lady who is 80 years old. She wanted to do the zip line.
Oh my God, 80 years old.
She wanted to do the zip line. Weak, feeble, like the meat is literally sticking to the bones. Now, she's full of energy. She's like, I did skydiving last month in Dubai. But then again, I can't question whether she has done it or not. But then she's saying, as a risk factor, me being the department head, I have to assess the risk. So I would not want to send this guest to the zip line because anything can go wrong. And I don't want to be responsible, or I don't want to make my company responsible for that, because there is certain restrictions. Now, I can't say no, but I know the answer is no. But it depends upon the way how you deliver the message to the guest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I told her, I said, ma'am, I'm just as you, and I would want to do the same thing when I turn 80. However, it's not me. I'm just the middleman over here. It's the tour operator who is not willing to take because of high risk. I hope you understand. She's like, yeah, but then I'm fit, I'm fine. But then I know you are. I don't doubt that. But if it's them, I'm sorry, I really know. Again, giving the right information at the right time is really important, because you don't want to have a negative surprise later.
Correct.
Because if I had to sign her up, and when she checks in, they would say a no, and then she would get disappointed. So, yes, we do have many challenges at my work, but then you have to observe, you have to profile the guest, and you have to ask questions to seek information, because wrong information.
And how much time do you get to do all this, Loyson, in that hot seat? I call it a hot seat because I think the time schedules will be too tight, because you are doing continuous port to port, am I right?
Exactly.
There will be a few hours break at one port, say, to do all this thing.
Exactly.
So how do you schedule in all this assessing and planning and, here and there minor corrections,
So
convincing the guest, as you said, a case like this of a 80-year-old woman wanting to do the zip line? I can't believe it.
So I'm like, we do have this kind of cases. They don't come at the desk quite often. They do, sometimes they actually book it online, and if they book it online, I really can't see them.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
for me, only if they come at the desk, that's when I see. And I always tell my team, I said, guys, please monitor, please observe.
Okay.
Because few months ago, there was a lady who was pregnant. She was already 3 months, and then she wanted to do a horseback. Now again, risk factor. Now the lady never said nothing to my associate. My associate happily was selling the ticket, because we are a revenue-based department.
Absolutely.
And I just happened to pass by, and I saw that, and I heard the conversation. And then I approached the guest. Again, I said, if you don't mind me asking, can I check with you for your own safety? Because when you use the word safety, security, the entire ambience of the conversation changes. And that's when she gave up. She's like, yes. And that's when I had to say no, even though she had a ticket in her hand.
So your job demands, I think, a lot of diplomacy.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Because again, we are faced,
You
because
have to
we are
be
the first
at your
phase.
best with the diplomacy.
Have to.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
And that's what I actually teach my team as well. Standing at the desk and doing a job is different, but then there's a lot of preparation which happens behind the desk.
Correct.
So-
lot of homework has to be done.
Yes.
Loyson, tell me something. In this competitive atmosphere of cruising on cruise ships, how do you keep your company tour programs or tour plans one up on your other competitors?
Okay, so me being the department head, the show side basically, that's the office. They continuously work on different tours, different programs.
Tour programs.
Yeah. While doing my job, even me, I have to actually see what my competitor does. I have to see what the guest is demanding. I have to see what the guest is seeking for. So that's how I do my homework, and then I email the office. I'm like, we have so many guests who are asking about so and so tour. So can we plan something like this? Or you go on a location, you see something nice, and if there is a tour organized, then I try to take information from them, compile it, send it to the office. Then the office does the further part. Again, there are so many competitors. There are some individual tour operators wherein they have much better perks as compared to the company. Now, when a company is being run, there are many aspects what is considered. Maybe there can be, like when it comes to insurance or safety security, again, when you go locally, it's much better. But then, worst come worst, God forbid, something happens there, that's when the ultimate truth speaks out. So then, the guest has realized that, and it has happened in the past. So that is the only reason the information and the deliverance, the way how you deliver the information really matters. Because we do have a presentation which is done by the cruise director about all the benefits. The pros and the cons are being spoken out over there. That's how we actually, and then again, we have the hub app. There are many other advertisements which we go around the ship, which actually tells them and briefs them up on the excursions of the tour program.
Ata, tu is zutier aslolen and to the soglo onubov with all your experience to live up to that expectation of your company. Tuja mukar wadle avan kite. What is the biggest challenge that you face on a day-to-day basis?
As we know that we have different types of guests. Every day is a new day. Every guest is a new guest. And then again, it's not only about selling tours, but it's the effect, or once you are done with the tour, handling the complaints is the biggest challenge.
Review.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because again, it's on the demographic of the guest. So we have Miami, we have New York, we have Louisiana, like New Orleans. There are so many different ports where we pull in.
Your headquarters are in Miami.
That's the head office.
Yeah.
But again, the crowd, the guest.
Now, how many ports does one round of a cruise does in this case?
It all
Because
depends.
I think you are cruising around the Caribbeans only.
Yes, it all depends.
And the neighboring ports.
We have 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 8 days.
And every day you said is a new day and a new guest for you.
If it's, for example, if it's a 5-day cruise, then you will see only those guests for a 5-day.
Correct.
But then again, on a 5-day, there can be 3 ports or maybe 2 ports. So our job is usually on the port days. So now, those guests, once they go out, and if they hadn't had a good experience, that's when they come and they tell us. Now, compensation. They seek compensation. They are like, because again, I do understand their perspective. Usually when you go on a vacation, you want everything to be proper. You want everything in line. You want everything very nicely organized and done. If things don't go well, it automatically comes and says, okay, you ruined my vacation. So now what are you doing it to make it better? So that's when I have a role. Now, okay, what can be done? So basically you ask, seek information, convey to the tour operator, get their feedback, come to a conclusion, give compensation if need be.
I see.
Yes.
So the compensation factor also comes in.
So the biggest challenge, if you ask me, would be the compensation factor. That is the after tour. Booking tour, selling tour is very easy. Coordinating is very easy. But dealing with complaints.
म्हाका एक सांग लॉयसन बाब, आतां जायतेच आमचे गोंयकार भुरगे क्रूज लायनाचेर आसतात जाल्यार ह्या जाग्यार आमचे गोंयचे भुरगे आसात
जायते कार्निवल क्रूज लायनांत लायक
कार्निवल क्रूज लायनान एक जालें
हय.
आनी ह्या डिपार्टमेंटान
ह्या
where
डि-
there is excursion which is the excursion department and you are the head
Yes.
हातून तुमकां आमचे गोंयकार भुरगे मेवल्यात
This department, not really. Look, I'm talking about my company. In Carnival, I'm the only one from Goa.
ओके
But there are quite a few from India now who have got into. But other companies, yes. There are other Goans as well in this department,
Okay.
which I have known from people around.
Let's talk a little about the COVID situation. How was the COVID situation? Were you on duty at that time or you had signed off for your break or something like that?
For COVID, actually, I had started on the ship. Within 2 months, COVID hit, and that was it. As I had
And
mentioned,
you had to come back home.
yeah, since I am a revenue-based department, I can only have a job if there are guests. If there are no guests,
Absolutely.
they don't need me over there.
You are idle.
Exactly. So, but then it took us 3 long months to get home. So, Carnival really took good care of their crew members. We had 4 ships coming to India. We came, and then I was quarantined for I think 7 days, 7 to 8 days, and then I was in Goa. I was just waiting for the call. But when in Goa, I was not idle. I actually was working for 2 different casinos, Casino Strike and Casino Golden. That was in Baga. And then Casino Golden was in the making. So it took 6 long months. Happened. Casino began today. The next day I had to give my resignation because I got a call for the ship. So that what happened during the COVID times. But then
So you didn't keep yourself idle even while in Goa during COVID.
exactly.
You had taken up something to
I
keep
take-
yourself busy.
to keep myself busy and make at least some money for the fuel.
Right.
Yeah, because again, we didn't know. They said that we are starting, but then it took a while.
Tell us something about the post-COVID experience that you held, considering the protocols were totally changed.
Yeah. So pre-COVID, everything was
And
a piece of
post-COVID.
cake. Yeah. Pre-COVID, everything was piece of cake. We already knew things were happening. Things were happening for years altogether. So we all knew. But post-COVID, it was a big blow because again, my department, the job what I do, I literally have to send guests to a third party outside.
Right.
And then COVID was something you never know. I might have it, you might have it, the driver might have it, the tour guide might have it. So there was a huge wave, a big list of procedures how we had to take over or follow. We had to meet the guest in the lounge, escort them. There was a lollipop. There were many things. We had to do a dry run, and then a contingency plan in case if somebody is affected. Imagine I'm sending 50 people to this location. One person was more than enough. All of them checking, swabbing, quarantine. It hit really big. This was for us on the tour. Now at the location, sanitizers, washing, cleaning, spraying, fogging, all of that was in place. So after COVID, everyone, the duties literally were increased. Everyone was working more than actually expected.
When it comes to cruise ships, no, लोकांचो मरे समज वेगळो आसता की एक भुरगो तारवटी क्रूज लायनीचेर आसप म्हणल्यार ताचें जिवीत खूब मौजेदार.
हय.
हातूंत कितलें स्वत आसा?
मौजेदार म्हणल्यार मोजा आसता, ना म्हणून हांव आसता, पूण मौजे बराबर जायते त्रास आसताय. There are a lot of sacrifices. There are many sacrifices. Me being in this department, I will not be able to say or talk everything because there are many things what I have not gone through. But
others have gone.
I do have friends in
And
other
you
departments and they do share their things with me. And I like to counsel, I like to talk it out, I like to ask them because Zaite Party, we are all different, we are all humans. Some people like to talk, some people like to keep it within. There are so many tensions. There can be tensions from home, from the work colleagues, from the supervisors, managers. Again, there are many sacrifices what a seaman goes through. It's not all about fun. Now, it's all on you. Sometimes it is not you, but the people around you. Because today's world, there are a lot many things happening.
Correct.
Again, it's cruel criticism. Nobody would want to appreciate, but they would only want to criticize. Appreciation comes only from few people. But then again, if you really get it, you get it. Otherwise, you're depressed.
Tell me something, Loyson. What are your duty hours actually?
Duty hours, I usually work for 10 hours.
10 hours.
Can be extended, but then I usually work outside. As I said, as soon as the ship is in port, I have to head out. Working in the sun or the rains or the cold. It doesn't really matter. But then that's what I've signed up for.
When you are off duty, after a very hectic schedule, of your day-to-day working, how do you spend your free time? How do you relax yourself and de-stress yourself?
Okay.
Because this job profile looks quite a stressful, kind of situation. Day in and day out.
Day out, yes.
How do you de-stress yourself and how do you spend your free time off duty hours?
Off duty. So once I'm done working, then I prefer going to the gym. We do have guest gym and we have crew gym. So we do have privileges as well for different grades. We have a crew bar. We have recreational rooms. We have learning and development centers as well. So if you want to be well equipped with knowledge, or if you want to learn a foreign language,
I see.
Or if you want to maybe change your department, and if you want to have those courses in you, you go there.
Okay. So you can do all this on board only, while on board?
Everything is on board. There are a lot many resources what's available.
I see.
We have sauna, we have steam. It's just a matter of choice. Where do you want to spend your time or how? Again, if you have a long day and then you know that you're starting early tomorrow, you would rather go sleep. Because again, a primary being over there is work.
All these facilities by way of which you can distress yourself are available on board to you.
On board. Everything.
It's only up to you how you make use of it.
Make use of it, yes.
म्हाका एक सांग, जेन्ना तुम्ही ऑफ ड्युटी जाता तेन्ना तुझ्या दुसऱ्या ऑफ ड्युटी कलिगाच्या कॅबिनान वचून वेल चालूंक जाता?
Oi, Zata.
Is it permitted? Is it allowed as per your rules?
Yes, we are allowed to go. We can actually host a celebration. We can actually.
I see. Amongst
ourselves.
In one friend's cabin or whatever like that.
Yeah, but then again, important is the noise. Because different crew members, they have different working hours. We do have silent hours as well. But then again, we do have a family room. If you want to host a celebration, you host it over there.
या तुमच्या क्रूज लायनराचेर आनीक गोंयकार भाव आसात?
जायते.
आणि ते तुमचे मध्ये मिक्स जातात?
जायते मिक्स जातात आणि चडशे it's usually at night. They usually meet up at night because most of the crew members, they finish work by night.
So you don't find anything amiss. Your Goan colleagues are there.
Yeah.
तुझे गांव भाव आहात. आणि थोडे बहुत हिंगा गोंयकारपणी आहा. जाले ना?
जायते.
म्हाका एक सांग, केन्ना तरी तुमी गोंयच्यो पोरबो जशे परी गोंयच्या सायबाचे फेस्त, क्रिसमस ओ आनीक दुसरें कसलें सेलिब्रेशन दुसऱ्या धर्माचें केलां? बोटीर एकठांय येवन केलां?
जायते केलां.
लादीन बी करतात?
लादिन्यो करतात, तेस करतात, मागणी करतात, गायना करतात. Just before sign off in सांजाव म्हजे लास्ट बोटीर आमी सगल्यांनी मेळोन, सगल्या गोंयकारांनी मेळोन फॅमिली रूम बूक केलो. जेवण आसलें, बियऱ्यो आसलो, सोरो आसलो, डेकोरेशन आसलें आनी आमी सगल्यांनी थिंगा.
The feeling was Goan.
The feeling was Goan. It was only Goan music.
Okay.
We were dancing Goan. मांडे आसलोले, क्रॉकेट, चॉप्स, चिरीस पाव, सगळे.
पोर्टान आसतोस केन्ना तुमी लोकल प्रिस्टाक बी इनवाइट करून युकॅरिस्टिक सर्वीस करतात?
But then that all depends upon
the permission given by a company?
Yeah, or the senior leadership. The senior leadership. If there is somebody, or if there is a priest, or sometimes there might be a pastor cruising.
Okay.
So we can request and then yes, we can actually have a service.
तू सेलिंग करता तेन्ना तुज्या कुटुंबा कडेन म्हणुया तुजे फॅमिली कडेन, तुज्या आवय बापाय कडेन कसो संपर्क साधताय, कसो संपर्क दवरताय?
Because of the time difference, lot many times
Korpak Zaina.
calling, yeah. And the biggest challenge for me is
Mm-hmm.
when my parents are awake, that's the crucial time for me to be outside working
Yes.
because of the time difference.
Correct.
So I have to manage on a sea day to talk to them, not on a port day.
Oh,
Because
okay,
then if I do that, I have to literally wake them up at 2 or 3 a.m.
Right.
in the
right,
morning.
right.
So it's on a sea day which I
That
can
is a
manage time.
difficulty for people in Goa and when you're sailing in and on that coastal area.
Yes,
In the west.
that is the only thing. But then I do manage to call them to ask
Our
about.
time is running out and we are already running short of time. But last and final question in brief answer from you.
Sure.
Are you happy, Loyson, that you have chosen to be a seaman and take up a career on the high seas rather than maybe working in Goa on land or for the government of Goa?
Yes. If you ask me this, I'm literally very much happy working overseas because the amount of money what you actually save, what I actually tell everyone, all the people around, and I'm not ashamed of it, you can literally save a lot. And the amount what you can save at sea, you can't save nowhere. That's been proven. I have spoken to so many people because again, your food has been there, your accommodation is there, there's no traveling, your laundry is complimentary, everything is there.
Okay. Even
Only-
laundry is complimentary.
Everything is complimentary.
Complimentary.
So the only thing what you actually spend money would be internet, alcohol, and if you smoke would be cigarette.
And
if
you don't smoke.
Yeah, and I don't smoke.
And you don't drink also perhaps.
Drinking is very occasional, but then again, it's just for get together, but then it's not on a regular basis. And then if you would like to go out, well, I get to go out for free. So again, you can save a whole chunk of money. So a message to all the Goans, I would say, or aspiring seafarers, there's a lot out there. There is so many job opportunities out there. It's just a matter of time and discipline what you need to have once you get there. Applying, there are so many cruise lines. Go online, apply. I would say apply. I know replies would not be coming, but just apply. Out of 10, 1 can trigger. And if the time is right, that 1 would really be great. I mean, you would be really grateful because you spent that time for that, and then you can see yourself somewhere really big.
Thank you very much, Loyson, and we
Thank you,
wish
Daniel.
you all the best.
Thank you so much for
Someday
having
I
me.
hope to be a guest on your Carnival cruises.
Sure, of
Hopefully
course.
you'll be my excursion manager.
For sure. Please let me know which ship you
So
can.
this was Loyson Pereira, excursion manager serving on the Carnival Cruise Lines. He has shared some wonderful experiences about his job profile, the responsibilities, the challenges, and all about how cruise line shipping is. Keep watching your favorite channel, the CCR TV channel, and we will be getting more and more of our Goenche, Tarvotti. Thank you.